On away we go. Sportsbook Live, Mohegan Sun, week number 6 in the NFL, live in the FanDuel Mohegan Sun Sportsbook. Mutt and Aton, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I am fantastic, brother. Good to see you. Looking sharp.
We're looking sharp, trying to look sharp. I got one of the shirts again kind of screws up with the mic, so the video. So bad job by me. We'll try to get a better, more solid shirt next week. If you are listening here on the Sportsbook right now, we got 8 minutes until Guardians and Tigers. Every $10 sports bet, Aton, you make, for those watching on YouTube here in the Sportsbook, every $10 sports bet you make for the next hour qualifies you for one of 2 free $100 bets. Brad and his staff from Mohegan Sun have done this every single Thursday. They're giving away $200 every single week just for making a sports bet. We want you down here. You're watching on YouTube right now. You got 5 more weeks until the 7th. Big giveaway November 7th. Get your butt down here. Giveaways every single week. Patriots tickets here in a couple weeks. New quarterback for the Patriots. We'll get to that. So if you're listening right now, go get your sports bet in. Go see Mike and qualify to win. We do it every single Thursday here, and I want to let people know who are walking in here for this Guardians-Tigers playoff game that we are getting jacked and pumped for that. We'll get to a whole bunch of stuff here in a second. Give me 30 seconds here, Aton, and we'll get into whatever you want to get into. We'll start with all sorts of news. Now I can't hear you. You might have muted
I just want to know if you have action on this baseball game, but I can wait.
I did not play this game. I wanted to focus on the show. Do you have action on the game?
Of course I do, but you want to do something for 30 seconds, so I'll wait.
I just want to say, despite anything people see on social media, I love this show. I want people to watch this show and listen to this show and come down here to this show. I drive 3 hours round trip, my 11th trip to Mohegan Sun since June to be here. I spent hundreds of dollars on equipment to make this show sound good. I love what the team has done for the audience that comes down here. I freaking love you guys. I want you to tell me my picks stink when I'm terrible on the show. You tell me. You post tweets at me. Instagram. Well, I did go 3-0. I don't want to brag, but 3-0. 3-0. I do whatever you want. You watch the show, listen to the show, come to the show live, say whatever you want to me. I'm good to go. Okay? We love you guys. Thank you so much. Week number 6 in the NFL. Just want to get that off my chest.
Week 6 in the NFL, man. I am not excited about tonight's game.
What? Well, you have action on this game. I stepped on your action.
I have a ton of action on Thursday night's game. Thursday night's football game. I'm not excited about it, but I have a ton of action on it.
Well, I'm excited. I like the Thursday night game. I love the football game. The baseball, I have nothing. So what am I rooting for in the baseball game tonight?
Under 7.5 runs, alt play boosted. So FanDuel, right, as we are here in Mohegan Sun.
We love FanDuel, yep.
FanDuel has a MLB profit boost, and it's great because a lot of times you'll get a boost, and it's like, you have to have a 3-leg parlay. You have to have a minimum plus 400. FanDuel will throw out, and you get a 30% profit boost on any single wager. Those are the best, right? Anytime you get a single profit boost at you have to bet it because it's going to make that a plus EV bet. With that said, I looked at this total. It's sitting at 6.5. Losers in this series, Mutt, have not scored, I don't even think, right? So I bumped it over to 7.5 because 7 and 9 are those key numbers you want to look at in MLB. And I boosted it with my FanDuel boost. And now I'm just hoping for no runs in this baseball game. That's it.
So you're on the under. Pretty simple bet for you in this spot, okay? I may tell you if I get the chance in the next 5 minutes as we're yapping away because I don't have any action in the game. Playoff game going on here. Make your $10 bet. Qualify for the big giveaways here at Mohegan Sun. This is a busy week in the NFL for news. Busy. I like.
Where do you want to start?
I want to start in New York. We'll start with Robert Salah getting fired. Rodgers got him fired. You've been shitting on Rodgers on the show last couple of weeks, and you might have been right because when he goes on and says he talked to Woody Johnson on Monday and did not have any impact in the firing of Robert Salah, nobody believes him. Had to be done. Right. Terrible showing in London. You were on Minnesota on that game Sunday morning, so good call by you. Had to be done. But I don't think it's going to benefit them. Does that make any sense, the firing of Robert Salah?
Yeah, so initially I thought the same thing, right? Although there is a system that I apply all the time in the NFL. It worked just recently with Andy Dalton. It's not going to work with your guy because rookie quarterbacks don't necessarily carry over in this system, but backup quarterback, interim head coach. Anytime, first game, Antonio Pierce last year, right, with the Raiders. Anytime, Sam Darnold. Not Sam Darnold. What's the guy's name I'm taking? Red Rifle. Andy Dalton. Right? Anytime.
2 weeks in a row now, yeah. Confuse your average white quarterbacks. You confuse those.
There you go. It's hard, right? Well, do they both have red hair? What color hair does Sam Darnold have for $1,000? Do you even know this?
Blonde hair? Sam Darnold, blonde hair?
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you what he looks like. Sam, to quote Mad Dog Russo, Sam Darnold could fall on me. I wouldn't know him. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. Now, the reality, though, is you look at this game, right? And, well, I just say that the last game where they were just bounced and humiliated once again, I think ultimately, if it weren't for the firing or replacing, right, of Nathaniel Hackett, I would be on your side.
Okay, so you think that matters? You think Hackett as a play caller out matters for them?
I think that you're going to get the same benefit you would if a head coach gets fired because everybody's tired of their shit. And then there's this new life on a team that's just going out there to prove it wasn't their fault why they sucked. It was the guy who got fired. I think a lot of the love for Salah from the team probably diffused that. But now that they have a new offensive coordinator and that there's kind of some new life with that move, especially because everybody knows Hackett is garbage, I think that trumps everything else for me. I'm on the Jets outright this week. It's not one of my final plays here, but I'm going to tell you right now, Mud, I'm on the Jets money line on Monday night. I think they win this game. I don't think there's any new leaf has turned over or anything like that. I'm just capturing one game. That's all.
I don't think it matters because I think the Hackett thing bothers Rodgers. Like he can pretend and say that it doesn't bother him. He clearly got Salah out. I don't know if he knew for sure they'd take the play calling from Hackett, but that's his guy, right? That's his guy there. He's looked checked out at times. I thought the whole process in London last week was an awful attempt to get Garrett Wilson the ball over and over and over again. Yeah. He had guys wide open, kept force feeding him. Doesn't matter now that he has guys not on the sideline. He's going to now run the Rodgers offense. And there are days where he does not look like he gives a crap about what's going on. And now that his guy's out, even with Salah also gone, I don't think it's going to matter. I know people had high hopes for the Jets. I think they get buried Monday night against the Bills. The Bills are waiting on that big game. And I would not be shocked to see Rodgers check out in that spot mentally Monday night against the Bills. Because now his guy's gone, new play caller. I'm not convinced they've got the response that they want to get there in New York. The other big move is here in our backyard with Drake May. And see, this is a weird spot because in Philadelphia, like, what was your guy? It's trust the process, right? Like,
yeah, we don't say that anymore.
Result over process or process over result. Right. The result here gets Drake May starting, and I want to like Drake May. He was electric in college, runs around like Josh Allen. He should be an exciting player to watch. I should want to love Drake May. The process to get here sucked. To put him in this spot against the number 4 team in pressure rate in the NFL and the Texans, Patriots have the worst offensive line in football, a play caller who doesn't want Drake May at the quarterback position. To put him in this game versus Dolphins last week sits. Jags next week in London, easier opponent.
Yeah.
This is desperation. I hate the way they're getting to this. It speaks to Mayo, the coach, Van Pelt, the coordinator, the owner. It speaks to complete disarray. And I want to love this kid. My kid took his Mac Jones jersey. He put duct tape on it and wrote May's name on it. He wants to root for Drake May. So do I. But to get here, it was a cluster F to get here. The Patriots look like the Jets. That's the common theme here between these two. That we want Patriots fans to feel like that they were better than the Jets. You are the Jets right now. Your coordinator, your coach, and your owner aren't on the same page, and they went off script to force this kid in because they don't know what else to do. So I'm glad he's playing because I want to watch him play. But to get here was a terrible, terrible run out. Terrible.
What are you really going to get from him? There's not really any true read.
He can run.
But that's it, though. As far as what you can take away from his performance, there's, I guess, my question. There's going to be so little that's going to be based on his own talent and merit outside of escaping the pocket. I mean, he's basically the human equivalent of a preseason game, right? Where if you have starters that play bad in the preseason, you're going to go all over them. If you have starters that play okay in the preseason, it's going to be like, all right, well, it's the preseason. With Drake May, I don't think you're going to get to that play well. Like, he doesn't have enough around him, right? As far as either skill or offensive line.
Nothing.
So you're basically just hoping he doesn't make mistakes, knowing that he's not going to be the reason why you win a football game.
Yeah, and they're doing it because they're bailing out their offense with a rookie who needed seasoning. Like coming out of the draft, not to go back to this, but like You know what they said about Drake May is that he didn't take snaps under center, that it was only in the shotgun, and it was still raw taking snaps under center even back in training camp. 2 weeks ago, Eitan, the coordinator said the best thing for this kid is to sit and watch. 2 weeks later, they're announcing that the owner is whispering to Schefter and Rappaport on Monday who's going to play. We found out today the coach wanted to tell the team on Wednesday. And what did they do? They whispered it out there because PR is bad. Because Jabril Peppers allegedly choked out a girl who was doing coke the day of his birthday, Saturday before a game, because the team sucks. There are empty seats everywhere. So they're trying to bail out the franchise with the rookie quarterback, and they're doing it in the worst possible process. Again, he can't be worse than Brissett. I would rather watch Justin Trudell play quarterback than I'd rather see Jacoby Brissett play quarterback. But here's the issue. They put him in a bad spot. And I can't defend. I don't want to rip May, but I'm ripping the way they got here. And I wanted to prove me wrong. I want to come back on the show next week and say I was dead wrong. May threw for 3 touchdowns. They upset the Texans, ran around, looked great. Like it was him and Jaden Daniels were the 2 best throwers on the run in college last year. So there's something there. But to use this kid to clean up what's been a very, very dirty start for the Patriots, it's bad vibes.
What did you expect? They had a 4.5 game win total with Jacoby Brissett as the quarterback.
I expected
what
competency.
Did you honestly expect?
I expected competency. We don't have it.
Wait a second. Let's be fair to the situation here, okay? And just like you in Boston would defer to me about some nonsensical stuff playing out in Philly, and there's a bunch of things you can point to here, I'm appealing to you and the rest of the Boston Central or Metro, if you will, here. What the hell did you think? Did you honestly have some small, did you think Tom Brady was walking through that door at some point?
Put the Brady thing aside. I expect the team had a plan here. The plan was to play this kid in November. And because the team is so bad around the rest of the quarterback position, they're forcing him in against the worst opponent you could force him in against. Did you watch Josh Allen against the Texans last week? 9 for 30. He may have been concussed, caveat, but 9 for 30. We have not seen a team treat a quarterback like that in 30 years in the NFL. They sacked Caleb Williams. Hold on.
I'm not jumping in. I'm just asking.
They sacked Caleb Williams 7 times in week 2. What are they going to do to this kid with this horse crap offensive line in front of him? That's the issue I have, is that I expected them to be responsible. And instead, because things aren't going right and the owner's upset and another player got arrested, what can we do? Let's force the rookie quarterback in a bad spot. It's a brutal spot to put this kid in. They're not doing the right thing by the number 3 pick. That's the issue.
Two things. One, the line is at 7. I've seen it push through at 6.5 at FanDuel and another reputable place.
That's it, though. It was 7 with Brissett, and now it's 7 and 6.5 with May. The line did not move at all.
But that's the point, though, is that it did. It actually did. 2 places, one of them being FanDuel, is now sitting, at least where I am in Pennsylvania, Mutnansky. Yep. It's sitting at 6.5. It pushed through the second biggest key number in the NFL. Drake May's arrival. So the point is that as much as you and everybody else, rightfully so, are going to be down on May and the decision to do this, there seems to be sharp money. Public money doesn't push that line from 7 to 6.5. People like Brad bet that
injury stuff, though. That's Texans that people are seeing without Nico Collins, ruled out yesterday, right? Goes to the IR. Stroud's numbers without Nico Collins are much, much worse. I don't. So you're telling me, Mr. Gambler expert, you're telling me
I didn't go 3-0 last week.
You definitely did not. 2-1, not bad. You're telling me that sharp money is coming in on the Patriots. That's what you're telling me.
All right, let's look at this. The line was
way to not answer the question. Is there sharp money coming in, or is it people betting against the Texans versus betting on the Patriots?
Am I on the stand, or am I going to be able to explain my answer?
You're on the show, yes.
Yes. Well, yeah, but I figured I would have time to not just get away with a yes or no. Yes. Yes, the answer is yes. Why? Look, it's at 7.5. Okay, it's at 7.5, right? With Jacoby Brissett. So
I saw it at 7 on Monday before the announcement.
Well, you said it was 7.5.
Well, 7. It was 7. It was 7. Okay. It was 7 and it stayed 7. Basically.
Okay.
In most places.
7. It's 7 and stayed 7. Okay. So people are betting the Patriots. What public bettor who just shows up with the wad of cash is looking at this game with Stephon Diggs and CJ Stroud and all of these public popular names on Houston and going to the window and saying, here, take $1,000 of my, put 10 units on the New England Patriots at 7 with Drake May. It's
because they see
like
Drake May.
Brad.
No, it's Patriot public money. It is people that are desperate to see the Patriots win the game. They want to take the home dog. There are 9 home dogs in the NFL. This is a big one. It's public money betting Drake May. I cannot imagine this is quote unquote sharp money coming in. If it is, it's against the Texans and the injuries, not about betting the Patriots.
That's fine though. But you know what, Mutt? That's fine. Who cares what the means is, right? Like you and I could both agree on the same end, which is sharp money came in. I don't care if it's because they believe in Drake May or because they're fading the hell out of the Houston Texans. My point is that you and I can't move a line from 7 to 6.5 unless we're coming in with like Drake level cash. But sharp people, bettors who are influential, right, and have some sort of hold or some sort of, even if it's just at a local book, not even just as far as offshore, what have you, there is movement from through 7 to 6.5. That's pretty big. That's all I'm saying. Here's what I would ask you, though, real quick. Here's what I would ask you. Jacoby Brissett starts this game. 1:00 Sunday afternoon. Houston Texans are in town. I don't care about
I'm
at
the
stadium.
If that's the case, I'm apple picking or hiking with my wife on her
Thank
birthday.
you.
Instead, I'm going to watch Drake May.
You just answered why Drake May is starting. Because Robert Kraft.
Not the right way to start. That's not to start the kid, though. You agree, though, that's the wrong way to start him. Not because you're trying to get eyes on the game.
That's the only reason. And yes, I'm not for it because I do care about this kid's health, right? But the reality is he is there to sell interest. There is no more interest. You cannot squeeze any more blood out of the Jacoby Brissett rock. It's over. It's done.
That we agree on. That we agree. I have a prop in this game. We're going to try to leverage the Patriots' terrible offensive line on a prop bet. We'll give away our best bets coming up. We'll do it at the end of the show. I do want to pull up the odds real quick. You hate this game. I love San Fran.
I have action. I just don't like the game itself. It's hard to talk about tonight.
We'll hit this game, then we'll come back and talk about some other key games on the Sunday slate. Of course, Bomber Brad will join us coming up at 6:30. The Seattle Seahawks have faced some pretty poor teams to start the year. Some pretty poor quarterbacks. Bo Nix, Daniel Jones. I'm forgetting the kid who subbed Skylar Thompson. Yep. They have faced nobodies at quarterback. Their number 10 DVOA ranking is massively overrated. The 49ers lost last week on a fluky sort of pick there at the end, and they lost their kicker. The 49ers are much better than what they showed against Arizona. Short week now against this Seattle team who has a rookie head coach. I loved it at 3. I'm still betting it at 3.5. If I could have used this one of my 3 picks, I would have. I love San Fran minus the points tonight. Is a nice play for me. Nice get-right spot for them, 2-3. They're going to win this game. Seattle is that defensive numbers overrated thanks to the quarterbacks they played. So I'm on the 49ers tonight, road favorite.
I'm amazed that we haven't seen any movement past 3.5. And that's really what I want to talk to Brad about, at least for me, first and foremost, Mutt, is that this moved right off 3. And again, all right, you see the Niners, movement from 3 to 3.5, movement from 3 to 2.5. Most likely, not all the time, most likely going to be sharp money that pushes it. If it moves from 3.5 to 4, you know that's more of a public play because people that make their living off this don't bet bad lines. At 3.5 is normally a bad line. In this case, though, I think you have an argument where the 49ers are most likely 5.5 to 6 points better, even on the road on a short week. Both teams fell into the short week stuff. What really bothers me in this game is that Seattle's defense has been thoroughly undressed.
Yeah.
For a first, stretch of games where they were going up against you mentioned that, right? Then you have Detroit. You just gave up 29 points to Daniel Jones, who didn't even have Malik Neighbors out there. So where I'm conflicted tonight, Mutt, is it's a short week, primetime Thursday night game. I should be racing to the window to bet the under here. Just a blind bet of the under. But both teams' defenses are not where they should be. San Francisco is still coming back from way too many guys playing hurt, banged up, either missing time or still playing hurt. And both of us just talked about how Seattle's defense is a mirage at best. I don't necessarily think that transfers over to points, but I think we're going to see a pretty big box score tonight, if that makes sense.
All right, so you're leaning what part of the total then? You want to play the under, but you think it's the over. What's the play then?
I don't have a play on.
Oh,
see these 6 boxes right here? You see these 6 boxes, right?
You don't like
money
any of those.
line, spread, all that.
Got it.
I don't have a play on anyone. Now, I didn't know. Am I supposed to have a play for this show?
No. You don't. We'll talk to Bob about this. You don't have to bet everything. I will tell. So I'm on San Fran.
Oh, I've got action tonight. I've got action.
If you're playing props and same game parlay stuff, George Kittle's the play tonight. Seattle's giving up the 5th most yards per game to opposing tight ends. All their stuff's middle of the field. George Kittle's going to score a touchdown tonight. He's like 9-10-1, score first touchdown. So I'm on the 49ers and the Kittle stuff in the same game parlays and props. So if you're not going to bet a side here, what's your favorite action in this game?
Favorite action, and I'm actually curious where this is. Here come the boosts, right? I took 2.5. I boosted that 30% profit boost on FanDuel. So I have this north of 150. I have Noah Fant. I have Noah over 2.5 grabs at plus 151 tonight. Tight end spot against San Francisco. There's going to be some places where he can just disappear, not in a negative sense, but I mean, as far as like where the defense is struggling. You've got 3 guys healthy on the receiver core now for Seattle. And I don't think that automatically means between Lockett and Metcalf and Jackson that there's no balls to go anywhere else. Font's going to be open in the red zone, especially if you get closer to the goal line. I think 3 grabs for me is where I began at that number, again, at plus 151. But I'm with you on Kittle too. I was hoping we would get a little bit of a better number than that.
If you ever use your boost, you can juice that up at FanDuel as well. If you go to FanDuel, you can probably boost that up. They have same game.
Well, if you didn't use your boost already, like
that's what I'm saying. If you've not fired all your boosts, like you've already fired all your boosts for this game.
I'll save my boosts for the show. Will that make you feel better?
Let's take a very quick 30-second break. We'll come back. The rest of the Week 6 slate, we are live in the beautiful FanDuel Sportsbook Mohegan Sun. It is Sportsbook Live, 30 seconds away.
Who's in for Mohegan? Obviously, everyone. We're off to the races. A moment of calm before the dark and stormy. High score, dance floor. Apps, crafts, and nightcaps? Then it's down for the thread count to start it all again tomorrow. This is how it feels when you're all in for Mohegan. Mohegan Sun.
This football season, take in every epic moment on the largest HD video wall in the Northeast at the Mohegan Sun FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, Bomber Brad will join us coming up here in about, 8 minutes from now. Bottom of the hour. Jesus Christ. It's not fucking great. It's not.
You're right. It's not the bottom of the hour.
No, God. I heard a radio host say today, you want to chime in. I don't say, if I ever say it again, you're allowed to punch me in the face. If you ever come to your Mohegan Sun, I will give you a free punch in the face. If I say
on the other side,
chime in, or if I give you bottom of the hour, I apologize to you and the audience for saying that.
Wait a second. Where does the other side fit on your top 3 of radio no-nos? Coming up on the other side.
It's in the top 3 of things you should not say in 2024.
Ever.
That is for sure. What I just said probably 5 seconds ago before our quick sponsors advertisement.
Bottom of the hour. Next thing, you'll bring out your rotary phone.
I probably will. I will say this before we talk about the rest of these games. So there's a guy, Mike, who works here in the sports book. He's a U.S. Army veteran. And something he pointed out today, he's the one who gets people their $10 bets and gets their vouchers to win the $100 gift card or $100 bets at the end of the show. If you're a veteran and you're watching or listening, a veteran in your family, Mohegan Sun has unbelievable deals. Like they take care of their veterans across the facility, right? 10% at pretty much every single restaurant that you go to, 15% at the spa. Like there are deals everywhere. So if you're a military veteran, we certainly thank you for your service. And trust me, they take care of you here. Mike was telling me about it. So one of the other reasons why you want to come to Mohegan, besides the great sports book and the great restaurants, if you're a veteran, they care about you. They take care of you here at Mohegan Sun. Week 6. Slate week 6 in the
Where
NFL.
Where are you right now? Like, seriously.
I'm laughing at all sorts of things going on in front of me.
Anything you want to share? Or?
Well, there's some anti-Aton statement here. People want you here. Okay, there was an expectation you might be here at some point. They want to see you here. So they're showing their excitement to it because they want to meet you. You're half of the show. They want to see you here.
Can't imagine
right?
I can't imagine there is anybody that wants to meet me in any capacity outside to say you're uglier than you look on show. That's it. Okay. Which I would love to give them that satisfaction, but that's we'll see. It's a little bit of a trip.
You can get here at some point. Let's
I'll be there.
Week 6. Let's start with the Patriots. Quickly go through these local games here. Patriots and the Texans. Do you want any side or total in this game? I'm staying away. I'm rooting for Drake May. I hate the process. I can be a prop at the end of the show. I'm not betting Patriots Texans on Sunday.
Look, I'm intrigued, and maybe Bomber can shed some light on this, but it's kind of hard to ignore the fact that this game is sitting. It's at 6.5. And again, this could drop. If this drops to 6 and you have it at 7, or maybe if it was ever at 7.5, I think you have to look like you're in a pretty good position here. I don't think I can bet it clearly at 6.5. What about the total? Any interest in going under 37.5?
Yeah, my lean would be under. And these 37-ish totals have been unbelievable. I think it's 37 and under since like 2019. Have hit it like I want to say 71%. So people see that low number and they get scared off. But this thing hits at a ridiculous rate. Weather should be fine. But again, why can't it be a low-scoring game? Stroud without his top wide receiver. Drake May, we know what he's going to be. So I would, if I had a lean in this game, it'd certainly be the under 37.5. That's a playable number to me. It's not on my card for week 6, but that's, to me, the most playable part of this game besides a prop that I want to give later on in the show. I will save the Jets game because I think you're on the side of the Jets. Or you want to talk about that game later on. How about Sunday night?
That's fine. We can talk through that game. Like I said, I'm not, that's not going to be one of my 3 plays by all means. So if you want to talk through that now, by all means, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm not buying into the bounce back for the Jets here. And again, Josh Allen's health, I assume he's healthy. It sounds like he's trending towards playing. The concussion thing, I think, was just sort of lingering for a couple of days. James Cook missed practice on Wednesday. Sounds like he's going to play in this game. I think there's a real chance that Rodgers quits in the team. It's not a handicap. It's not some sort of DVOA number or stats, but Rodgers gets the coach fired. Pressure on him, Hackett's play calling out. I'd be leaning Bills in this game, and on the road, laying under field goal.
Counterintuitive though, like you just got the guy, you got the bigger villain in your mind if you're Aaron Rodgers out, right? Like the biggest issue is Robert Salah. So you've done all of this, and now, like if that's the case, just retire. Because this stuff's going to get out. Like, this is not 10, 15 years ago in Green Bay where you can control everything.
All right, so you like the Jets on Monday night on the money line, winning outright. Sounds like it. Okay, well, how about the other New York team? Not the Mets, who are absolutely red hot. We'll get to the Mets coming up.
I don't
Mets
even
fans
know who that is. Who?
Out of their minds. Sorry, Phillies fans. How about Giants and Bengals? Sunday night football. I hope you got a better feel for this game than I do, because I thought it was like, hey, let's just bet the Bengals and let's lock it in. And the Giants sort of suck, but I'm seeing some sharp money come in on New York. They're
Absolutely,
a home dog
they
on
are.
Sunday night. What are you supposed to do in this game?
You're supposed to take the points with the Giants. I think that's the play for me here too.
That's the signal right now, right? 3.5.
Exactly. 3.5. You can play. Here's the best part
Malik
about
Neighbors
3.5.
probably playing in this game too. Yeah.
Who?
Malik Neighbors sounds like he's trending towards playing in this game.
Yeah, but you could also blindly bet 3.5 in profit. I'm not saying we do that here, but I think you look at a couple of things, and the Bengals they haven't covered or once in their last 5 against the NFC East. The Giants are 21-12-1 against the spread as a dog under Daboll. 8-0-1 ATS at home versus teams that are 600 or less. And I get it. The Bengals are struggling this year, but that's who they are. Like, they're struggling because they're having issues, not because of something out of their control, right? Bad breaks, all these things. They haven't been able to really fix it. And that's where they are, trying to get back up on that upswing. But as far as the Giants are concerned, this is at 3.5, 6, 7.5, 14, depending on the matchup and where you get them. This is where you make your money betting on the Giants, because they're a backdoor cover, they're a late cover, they're a mistake, or something stupid going on with Cincinnati away from winning this game outright. So you take the 3.5 here. Absolutely.
What do you want to do with your Eagles off the bye week? They have the Browns. Philadelphia's down right now. Phillies are out. They choked. They gagged. They were terrible in that series against New York.
What do the Phillies have to do? I'm just curious. Like, what do the Phillies
play in the same city as the Eagles? And so now all the pressure's on the Eagles now to bounce back and win this game. Not a great spot for Philly off the bye week.
It's not. I'm trying to find where I put this out here so I can actually prove it for you. I mean, it's in the Discord, I'm sure. But before the bye, before the actual bye week, right? So this is what, last week? Coming ahead of last week. The big thing for me was jumping ahead of this game. That's what I wanted to do, right? This line, Mutt, was sitting at 6. And it just made no sense to me that the Eagles, who had a full week to get healthy, would come back and have at least one of the two in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And just seeing how Cleveland is just not right, like there's something wrong with Cleveland. I jumped on them. I took Philadelphia -6 last week for this game coming up this week.
You grabbed the look-ahead line. A much better than what you're getting right now. Yeah, obviously.
I mean, and where we are right now, right? Like, I'm just trying to find. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this
I don't know
is what
you're
I have.
doing. You're just staring at your screen trying to find something in your Discord. That's what I can
And I did. And just because you know why? Because if I don't put this up here, I'll be called a liar, a fraud, all this other stuff. But there's the date on it right there. And you can see this was 10-1, right? Catch a break if it's north of that. At least get it now at 6. And we see now that this game has
9.5
cleared 8.
9.5 minus 115. Yep.
So my position is there, right? Like I'm here with the Philadelphia Eagles at -6. I don't have to do anything with this game, and I'm locked in.
All right. Any other games you want to hit on that aren't part of our best bets coming up? Any other games you want to mention?
Yeah, I really like Dallas. I really like Dallas a lot this week. I'm going to bet them at some point. Washington and Dallas are the two teams that I really like this week. And it's probably, I may take every single NFC East team to cover. I may put all 4 NFC East teams spreads in a parlay and see if I can get that to cook. I think the NFC East has a big week this week. I'm big on Dallas. They're being massively underrated because another popular team in Detroit comes to town. They're 10-1 against the spread, the Cowboys, as a home dog coming off a straight-up underdog win, meaning they were a dog and they won, right? And Washington just completely gets undervalued because everybody's waiting for them to turn back into a pumpkin. And Baltimore has not solved any issues on their offensive line. They're just talented enough to get around it here or there. I'm loading up on the NFC East, Mutt.
Well, you should put together an NFC East parlay for us for the end of the show.
I'll do it right now.
Find a way to do it during this very brief break. People are waiting. I see a man in a Cowboys jersey. He's not happy you like the Cowboys this weekend. He knows he's now drawing dead with his favorite team. Bomber Brad joins us 30 seconds from now.
Who's in for Mohegan? Obviously, everyone. We're off to the races. A moment of calm before the dark and stormy. High score, dance floor. Apps, crafts, and nightcaps? Then it's down for the thread count to start it all again tomorrow. This is how it feels when you're all in for Mohegan. Mohegan Sun.
This football season, take in every epic moment on the largest HD video wall in the Northeast at the Mohegan Sun FanDuel Sportsbook.
Oh, we lost Mutt. Look at that. He'll be back. Don't worry. As the view count dips right now, where the hell is Mike Mutnansky? Are you kidding me? I showed up at the Mohegan Sun show to see Shander? Are you kidding me?
There it is. Well, we just confirmed. I mean, you just knocked us off the air, right? You're sick of my crap today. The crowd's getting after you. That was nothing to do with me. That was all you. Brad just said it. Bomber Brad joining us here. I'm going to try to fix this thing.
See, I knew it. As soon as I moved you away. Come on, Mutt.
What happened now? What is going on?
Your camera's gone.
What is going on? I got to fix
this. This is a travesty here.
Hold on a
second.
Travesty. What is going on with this
camera?
You start
tinkering with stuff. You're like a golfer who has a perfect routine. You miss one putt, easy putt, and next thing you know, your grip's off. Like you're shaking different ways now. Before you used to do the Tim Tuffle shuffle, and now you're doing something. Now you're doing the shoulder thing. I mean, this is rough. All right, we'll get Mutt and Bomber back on here. This is the Bomber segment. This is why everybody really wants to roll here. Plus 1260.
What's going on?
You keep bouncing out. Plus 1260. Okay.
You get anything? Oh, see, I don't know what's going on here. He's knocking us off with his connection. Something's going on with his connection back there.
My connection?
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm hardwired in, brother.
Okay.
Like there's just why all of a sudden today? I'm sabotaging. This is now going to be all over. God, nobody send this to Kirk, please. Do not
Please.
send this to Kirk. Oh, my
I
God.
got everything connected here like I normally do. I will try one more time here. I'm sorry, Bomber. Connection is secure. I'm going to
blame it on the bye week like the Phillies did.
I don't know what I'm going to do here.
I'll even remove me.
No, don't do that. Don't do that because now people can't see anything. I can't see anything. Bomber, I apologize, buddy. I'm going to try one more time here.
Look, we can hear you, right? Like, I can put this up here. It's just one small little box. It's not like the full screen here. So there we go.
There we go. How's that? Is that better?
It's beautiful.
luck?
Absolutely beautiful.
Now don't touch it. Leave it alone. There we go.
Okay, there you go. That's. Can you see Bomber?
Yeah.
See, producing on the side. Try.
Love it. We're all
Can't
good.
wait to hear
sorry,
how I
buddy.
Let's go.
sabotage this one.
That's-
Now we're gonna have to speed up. Let's go.
Right.
Well, I think it actually works out well for us because the guy who has all these winners, all these picks, now it's cutting out again. I have no idea what's going on. All the guy who has these winners, all these winners, 1 and 2 last week. What happened?
I mean, it happens. Nobody wins every week. But we did have Arizona on the money line. So if you played them on the money line, you would have made a little money for the week.
Great call.
But I'm still hitting almost 73%. So documented, as my man to the left of me likes to say, documented 73% picking winners. And I've got 2 more winners for you this week.
How about your NFL top 5? You sent me a top 5 earlier today. We talked mostly NFL with you. You love the college game as well. When you give your NFL top 5, is it the teams that you are would bet on? Is it the top 5 overall? Like when I sent you this, and I'm going to read it off here in a second. Is this your top 5 teams or top 5 teams you want to bet on this year?
No, this is just my top 5 teams that I think are in the NFL right now. And it's totally different than ESPN or some of these other places where they just go by record. I mean, they'll move a team 7 points, 7, positions because they won 1 week or they lost 1 week.
Yep.
That's not how I do it. I think Baltimore is the best team in the league. I mean, they're not the best record, but I think they're the best team. I still got to keep Kansas City second. They're 5-0. They still got injuries, but I think they can overcome those. And then my next 3 are Detroit, Minnesota, and the Texans. And listen, I'm like Eitan. There's some teams that are below the Texans, Minnesota, and Detroit that I could have put on there. I think the Commanders, still wait and see with the Commanders. Still, not just because I'm a Dallas fan, but still kind of hung up on the Cowboys. That game the Cowboys played the other night was one of the best wins I've seen them have in a very long time. And their play calling was best that I've seen in maybe 20 years. So maybe these players need to stay out longer because that was a different Mike McCarthy calling plays on Sunday night than I've seen in a very long time.
Baltimore, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota, and the Houston Texans facing the Patriots this weekend. I think the biggest surprise there is the Texans in your top 5. No Nico Collins. Stroud still in and out on the road. Any big issues there? Eitan with the top 5. We'll go Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Texans. Bomber
I'm just the only issue I have, and it's just because I'm under their win total and I'm still not sold on the offensive line, would be Baltimore. But the response to that, and they are the rich man's version of the Eagles, is that they're talented enough to beat 65, maybe 70% of this league, even with those offensive line issues. So it's hard for me to really come back at Brad and be like, whoa, because I recognize where they are talented and they've overcome injuries, especially to the receiver position. I just was not confident in their offensive line. But I'm with you. I think the other ones, and I know, Mutt, you were a little surprised, and maybe this can transfer us or transition us, into the convo with the Pats line itself. But I think Houston not being in somebody's top 5 is underrating them. And even if you want to keep them at 5, that's fine. But they're a top 6, 7 football team across the board. And I think you can make an argument that when healthy, they're absolutely a top 5 team.
The debate we were having, Bomber, was about the Pats and Texans. So the line was 7 with Brissett at quarterback. They're going to Drake May. It's 6.5 or 7 now. Eitan's telling me it's sharp money coming in. I'm suggesting that it is more on Patriot fans who want to bet Drake May, want to be first to Drake May and say, I bet on Drake May to win 6.5 points rookie quarterback. You feel it's sharp money or public money coming in right now on the Patriots, now 6.5 point dogs at home on Sunday?
I think it's got to be sharp money. Even a Patriots fan, are you going to take +7? I don't think they are.
That's what it felt like to me.
I don't think they are. I think it's just sharp money. I think people just trying to take the +7. The quarterback change, it can only get better. can't get worse, right? So I
Can't
think
possibly get worse than Jacoby Brissett.
exactly. So I think they think they're going to get better, and they're taking that number.
Can I suggest what may be happening to Brad, where you see an opportunity to slam the Patriots at 7, move that line to 6.5, buy back the Texans. So at 7, you push on the Patriots, but you cover a big hit at 6.5.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be going on. There's a lot of people do that, especially with the way you can move the lines nowadays, more than a point, half a point. Absolutely.
We'll see on Sunday. It's going to be fun to watch the kid play. I would not bet that game with a dime of your money, Bomber. That is for sure. How about this place, right? We know how much people come in here. It's the best sports book on the East Coast. They bet the games every single week. How about some Mohegan metrics here, Bomber? What are people betting? What's the ticket count? Where's the public coming in? Where's the money action? Right now, it's only Thursday. I may text you Sunday, try to get an update out on social media, see where the bets are coming in. But as of Thursday, where are you guys seeing your ticket count and your money here at Mohegan Sun Sportsbook?
Well, we'll start. It's not the most bet game, but it's in the top 3, and that's the Texans minus the 7. Early in the week, people are just playing the Texans, which is not surprising, even though we're in New England. I think a lot of people realize that the Pats are probably the worst or one of the worst teams in the NFL, so that's a big game. The other one is the Falcons. People are buying into the Kirk Cousins, the Falcons on the road, laying the -6, and that's 2 of the biggest games in the NFL that we have so far this week.
How much would you say, what percentage of action do you think, Bomber, put you on the spot, is in now through your sportsbook versus what'll be there Sunday at 1 o'clock? Like, how much more do we have to go? Like, if between 0 and 100% of the money that's going to be bet on the NFL this week in your sportsbook here at Mohegan Sun, what percentage are we at right now on Thursday night?
I won't do money wise, but I'll do ticket wise because that's better. I'd say there's probably 25% of the actions in there right now.
So there's a lot to still
absolutely happen here. Most people still do not bet, no matter how many times I get on this great, wonderful podcast that we love our fans.
Thank you, Bob.
that people just don't bet until Sunday, and I think that's too late. So I think we're at about 25-30%, and the other 70 is going to come in on Sunday. I mean, you've been here. You look around right now. There's like 6 people at a kiosk. You come in at an hour to game time on Sunday, there won't be an open kiosk anywhere.
Yeah, so you're getting in here. Get in here early. Get your bets in early. It certainly makes some sense. You've been here every single week with us. You give advice. People have mocked you for your advice, saying don't bet early in the year. Turns out that was the right advice because the sharps were so good early in the year. What kind of advice for you tonight? I don't need advice because I was 3-0. You were 1-2, so maybe I should give you advice.
Wow.
This week.
Wait a second.
73% documented.
Wait a second. See,
okay.
It's a long game, Mutt. And
it's a marathon.
For 1 week.
Not when you don't go 3-0 much. You got to celebrate it. What do you got for the people tonight? Give us some advice.
So you can't be afraid to pass betting a game or a team. And I think it's hard sometimes. So with me, I play certain things. I play a system, or I play not necessarily trends, but I play spots, okay? Well, I may have a team come up in a spot, and I'll give you an example. Last week, Florida State was one of those teams, and I was leery of playing them, but I pulled the trigger and I played them. But I think you just have to be not afraid to pass a team that you think might be on the borderline. I was that way the first couple of weeks with Carolina in the NFL. I just couldn't pull the trigger. You're going to pass some games and you're going to win some of those games. But I think in the long haul, I've actually tracked it. In the long haul, most of the games that you pass will end up being losers because something's telling you you're on the wrong side of that game. And they're going to play tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. I've heard you say when it comes to horse racing.
Absolutely.
I've been around you when you said, I think your dad's line, not to misquote him.
Yep.
But your dad's line was they're going to run more race. I don't want to misquote.
Son, they're going to run again tomorrow. Let's go home.
Yeah.
It's
It's
tough
hard though, man. Like
it's hard. Hey, listen, anybody can pick winners, right? I mean, it's all about discipline and money management.
Absolutely.
Same in the casino. I mean, luckily for me, I've never been in a casino where I hit a jackpot and I gave it all back. I always get up and leave. That's a little humor, you guys. My wife, hopefully, my wife's listening.
I don't do that.
She's like, "What's he lying on?"
I put some
what's
in
he
my
lying
pocket
on a national podcast?
I keep firing away. I put some in my pocket to make sure I walk out there with something. And admittedly, I will go into chase mode and play mode with the casinos.
It's the hardest thing to do. Discipline and money management are the 2 hardest things with gambling.
I want to get to your pick.
Slot shock. That's why.
No. One of the few games I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not going to sit there for hours. I know the people that can manipulate slots and know when to play them. I'm not one of those. I'm here in the race book with the guys who are here Thursday afternoons when I show up to set up. The 30 guys here that are firing at Belmont and Aqueduct and Hawthorne, those are my guys. Like that is my crew versus the slot jockeys. I'm betting on the real jockeys here on the big screens at Mohegan Sun. We just saw the Mets dispose of the Phillies.
Why are you bringing this up?
The Mets are the hottest team in baseball. Not to rub your face into it.
This is a football show. Why are you bringing up baseball?
Because the night of Game 1 of the World Series, where the Mets, I think at this point, are going to be in there. I feel very confident saying the Mets are going to the World Series. There is going to be an event here that if you're a Mets fan, you can't possibly miss. It's a Q&A with baseball's finest. Dwight Gooden, Keith Hernandez, Darryl Strawberry, all in this sports book. All basically could be leading right into Game 1 of the World Series, Mets and Royals in the World Series.
I'll go with that, Mets and Royals. Listen, if you can't go, that's Game 1 of the World Series. The Mets are going to be in it, I think.
I do too.
I'm with you. I think they're in it. If you can't go to the game, where else can you go for $75? Watch the entire game. You're going to get a cocktail, I believe, with that ticket. And you get to sit here with those three legends and watch the first game of the World Series. I mean, there's no better deal around. So go to Ticketmaster, get your ticket, because the more games that the Mets win, those tickets are going to go away, and we're going to sell out quick. I have no doubt.
Oh, I expect people are going to want to be here, not just for the game itself. Like the World Series tickets are going to be insane. People are going to want to be here. The Q&A is going to happen leading into the game that night. It sounds like, given the timing of it, quite frankly, you might have guys talking about the game while it's going on. You might be watching the game, and Dwight Gooden, in between innings, is popping on mic here and telling you what he just saw in that last inning.
I can tell you Bob Costas will not be here, thank God, so we won't have to listen to him. We won't be interviewing George Brett when the game's getting close. We're getting ready to tie it up, and we're talking to George Brett up in the upper deck, so we won't be doing that. We might have Mutnansky, but I'll cut his mic off.
If I'm invited, I will certainly be here. There's a lot of Mets fans out there that would love to be here for that game. And they better get here. Ticketmaster, folks. I know that one of the things going on here, people are calling Mohegan Sun, going to the website. The tickets are on Ticketmaster. Search Mohegan Sun. If you go through the Sportsbook website, there's a link there. But seriously, Ticketmaster, Mets, Mohegan Sun, $75, cocktail, Q&A, and we think Game 1 of the World Series, Mets and Royals.
Absolutely. Hope so.
All right. 1-2 last week, 72% on the year. You got a pick in college, pick in the NFL. What do you want to do here this week?
So Red River rivalry. I'll take the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners at least plus 14. I think if you wait a little bit closer to game time, you can maybe get a better number than that. So I'm going to actually go against what I normally say and wager early, but I think you can get above 14. So I'll take Oklahoma. And I absolutely love this game after I saw who everybody was betting, but I love the Carolina Panthers over the Atlanta Falcons straight up. +6, but I like the Panthers to win that game straight up.
I don't think the parents of the Panthers players love the Panthers. Their offensive line is banged up.
Sometimes I don't love my kids either, but when it comes to betting games, I love the
line's
Panthers.
Right.
Wow. OU and the Panthers.
I mean, I'm not buying the Kirk Cousins, and you got to go on the road and lay 6. There's just no way. It's actually down to 5.
All right, so that's a game you would book. If someone called all these guys that want to play the Falcons, you're excited to book those bets.
Absolutely. Book it. Bring it on.
Which makes some sense because we come back, a quick little 30-second break. I want to give our bets. Eitan and I have some best bets for the weekend. You're going to tell us if you want to bet with us or book the bet. You're going to grade our bets here today on the show. Can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
30 seconds from now here at Mohegan Sun Sportsbook Live. Don't go anywhere.
Who's in for Mohegan? Obviously, everyone. We're off to the races. A moment of calm before the dark and stormy. High score, dance floor. Apps, crafts, and nightcaps? Then it's down for the thread count to start it all again tomorrow. This is how it feels when you're all in for Mohegan. Mohegan Sun.
This football season, take in every epic moment on the largest HD video wall in the Northeast at the Mohegan Sun FanDuel Sportsbook.
Folks, we're doing a huge grand prize giveaway coming up on November 7th. Here's the deal. If you come out here to a live event, including that last day, if you can only make one of our live shows, I would make it November 7th. 6 to 7 p.m., we'll do the show. We will be, throughout the course of the show, any $10 sports bet you make, and if you're here listening right now, people locked into this Tigers and Guardians game. If you're in the sports book, every $10 sports bet qualifies you for a chance to win one of two $100 FanDuel betting vouchers. Okay, very simple. The night of the 7th, our grand prize. We're going to take everyone who qualified the entire season with us here at Mohegan Sun's FanDuel Sportsbook during Sportsbook Live. You have a chance to win a table for 4 during any NFL weekend, including the Super Bowl, food and beverage comped, and if it works out, a hotel room. So grand prize November 7th. If you're people looking at me right now, go put your $10 sports bet in. Go see Mike middle of the room. Qualify for tonight. That qualifies you for the grand prize, which again can include Super Bowl. Correct? If they book it early enough,
yeah, absolutely.
Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Super Bowl, if you think your team's going to be there and you want to ride it out, you will do it for Super Bowl. And we throw a great Super Bowl party. So something you might not want to miss if you win this.
Tremendous job out of you
Truly,
guys.
truly,
Thank you for
yeah.
what you're doing for the audience, and thank you for doing for the people that are here at Mohegan Sun that will make it here, if not during the season, at some point.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans.
I'm going to be generous. I'm going to be generous and say that I can't find the picks I'm looking for right now, so I'm going to let you go first, Eitan, in your best bet. So we're going to have bet it or book it.
Do you
with
want me
Bomber
to just
Brad,
put up
the
the full
sports
screen?
manager?
Or do you
Sure.
want me to wait?
I
was going to wait, right? Because everybody loves that graphic. So I was
Yeah,
going
they
to
do.
anticipate and build
Sure.
up to it.
Let's do that. So why don't you go first then and give your first pick of those 3?
My first play. See, are you going to be able to find it in your email? Is that what's going on here? You lost it?
I'll wing it. I'll wing it. Go ahead. I'll wing it.
You'll wing it. That's how
I'll
you
wing
go 0-3. I'm going to
Maybe.
start
Maybe.
in college, actually, a rare college football play for me. And I'm going to take Pitt. Just want to make sure that I have the right number here. Yeah, I'm going to lay 3 with the Panthers as they take on Cal. Cal just was, I don't even know if Cal is playing football anymore after losing that game the way in which they did to Miami. Fourth quarter, just horrible. Calls didn't go their way, what have you. And they take another cross-country trip now. Pitt is 5-0 on the year. They're playing solid football. I look at this probably closer to a 7.5, maybe 8-point line. I'll lay the 6 with the Panthers.
You want to bet that or book that, Bomber?
I'm actually going to book that, and the only reason is what you said last is I think the line should be way more than that. So for some reason, the bookmakers are telling you that Pitt's only a 3-point favorite. So I'm going to book that one.
All right, I'm going NFL only for my picks here. I'll start with the same team I picked last week. I don't do this very often, but the Denver Broncos are not getting up respect in Vegas right now. They're a 3-point home dog, one of 9 home dogs on the NFL schedule in Week 6. Give me the Broncos +3 against the Chargers. Chargers off the bye. I guess we're supposed to be scared of Justin Herbert and John Harbaugh here. Jim Harbaugh, I am certainly not. The Broncos have a top 5 defense. So do the Chargers. They are both middle of the pack offensively. And for whatever reason, Vegas thinks we're scared of betting Bo Nix. We saw Sean Payton do this. This guy clicks at about a 60% winning percentage as an underdog. Sean Payton got Russell Wilson to win big games last year. These teams are too close to be getting 3 points at the Denver Broncos. I love getting the field goal. It's 2.5 in some spots. If it's 2.5 where you have to bet, I buy the point, get it up to 3. I'm getting it 3 right now on FanDuel. I bet it at your kiosk early in the show. Give me the Broncos +3 against the Chargers.
I'm going to bet it. I like Denver. I like their defense. They, like you said, they got a top 5 defense. I've always been a fan of Sean Payton. He gets a lot out of his teams. I think he's going to get a lot out of Bo Nix. I'll bet that with you.
All right,
Next up,
real
Ethan.
quick. I
Yeah.
gave out on over there where I am at Odd Shopper. I
Yeah.
gave him out +130. What would you rather bet or book? +130 on the money line or +3 on the spread?
I'd rather bet the +3, and I'd rather book the +130.
So book means you're not betting it, right? Is that
Yeah, correct.
okay? Just to understand this here. So
Yeah.
you
Yes.
would rather take the 3? You're out of your mind. You know they're going to win
No.
that game outright.
They probably are, but I just know it comes back to it's so hard to win these freaking money lines. I almost said something bad, but
I said some bad words earlier.
but
I'm
it's just so hard to win these money lines. That's why, from a
That's
bookmaker
fair.
standpoint, I want to book those.
All right,
all
bet number
good.
2. Hey, Tom,
All
let's
good
go.
for me. And look, I showed you already proof positive that I got in. So I'm going to assume that Brad Bomber is part of my VIP Discord and got this play on October 1st. But I don't know how in the world, Brad, you could book the Eagles ticket that I'm holding at -6. How? How could you tell me you're going to book that Eagles -6 ticket?
I'll let you get. You got to give out picks on the show that are available. That's garbage. You cannot give out a pick that is not available to the audience. The idea is we give people picks. They can go fade or follow us or tail or trash. The -6 is gone. The only bet is 9.5. You're just doing this to up your record and look good. I need something you can bet today The audience wants to bet against you. They can't bet against you -6. We give us a live line, something that's available today for people to bet.
Okay, I'll come back to that third play there, and I'll bump my second play up. Although all I'm doing is just showing you proof positive
You're just
that
bragging. You're doing
TLV.
it's like by the way, great bet by you.
That's all I wanted to hear.
But we can't. Oh, sorry.
That's all I wanted to hear. Great bet by you. That's it. Thank you.
I like 6.
I'll go over 41.5 Bucks Saints. I see a lot of pop in this game, Mutnansky, and I think that you are getting an undervalued game here because of the Milton hurricane causing relocation for Tampa Bay. They've been practicing up there for an entire week. I love where Tampa's offense is. The fact that it's such a low number, 41.5, they still have issues on defense, and the Saints are moving to Spencer Rattler, and everybody thinks that they're not going to be able to do anything jack shit with the football. They weren't doing anything with Derek Carr after 2 weeks with the football. The fact is you still have a ridiculous playmaker in Alvin Kamara who can get up and down the field both in the air and on the ground. Both of these teams want to move the football. This is not a primetime nonsense game where you're just trying to get out. Give me over 41.5 Bucks Saints. Stick it.
Before you answer that, my second pick is under 41.5 Bucks and Saints. You are truly a moron, and I will go heads up for $100 even on this game with you, because what you have here are two teams that lack explosive plays. They're both bottom third in explosive plays in the NFL. They both play slow. You want over games with bad defenses and teams that play fast. These are good defenses, teams that play slow. This is the exact equation you want to bet the under. And Spencer Rattler, we haven't seen, no one expected to start this game. I've seen people all excited to bet him. Apparently you think he's going to put up points. I want to see it against this Bucs defense that is a pass funnel, but it is a banged up offensive line and a rookie quarterback. I love the under in the spot. We have not gone heads up in 6 weeks on this show. We are clearly heads up. I will do whatever sort of heads up bet you want to do. I'm on the under.
Your favorite charity.
Sounds good to me. Absolutely. Bomber under or over 41.5.
Neither one. I'm going to book it. And I was going to say that actually before you picked yours, because you're talking about a total where you don't really know what's going to happen with either team. You've got a new quarterback coming in for the Saints. The only thing I would say to him is he can't be any worse than Derek Carr, so he may not throw as many interceptions.
Okay. Nope.
But I definitely would book Tampa Bay, New Orleans total over or under. Doesn't matter.
Here's the biggest thing for me on that total is that Spencer Rattler's not going to be asked to do what Derek Carr does in the first game. And that's where I think Alvin Kamara becomes so much more valuable. You mentioned the pass funnel there. That's fine. That's fine. All right. You have one more. I have one more, right?
I do. Yeah, go ahead.
So real quick, I'll go back to college here. I'll go against my wife and so many others in this area's alma mater. This is a big trip for Penn State. I think USC is live to win this game outright. I'm going to take the 4.5 points. They basically did everything against Minnesota last week, the Trojans, except win the game. And I think when you outplay your opponent, that's something sustainable as opposed to just falling ass backwards and losing a game. I'm taking the USC squad Trojans plus 4.5.
I'm going to bet that with you. I looked at the game earlier in the week, and I kept saying, I was surprised that Penn State, even though they're 5-0, were that big of a favorite. I thought it'd be a little bit closer than I'm showing 5. I don't know what it is right now, but I'm going to bet that with you. I actually think that this is good upset material here with USC, and I would scatter a little bit on the money line as well.
I will have to tell you guys in college football. My last one's a player prop. We hit on Tyler Conklin last week. If you're watching the London,
book it.
You're watching the London game. You got paid before brunch in the second quarter when Tyler Conklin went well over his over. We absolutely nailed that. We're taking the under on Demario Douglas, 43.5 receiving yards. I credit FanDuel. They're the first ones to put this line up there. He's now in a timeshare at receiver. Kendrick Bourne is back in New England. He's going to play a lot more snaps this week. Jalen Polk played 100% of the snaps last week. Demario Douglas, third wide receiver. Texans, number 5 in the NFL, defending third wide receivers. And maybe Drake Way is running for his life in this game. He's cleared this 2 out of 5 games. I want the under on Demario Douglas, 43.5 receiving yards.
I'm booking it. Booking the props. I'm booking props.
You think you are? So it sounds like you think props are a losing bet.
No, I think there's a lot of value in props, but I think as a whole, as a bookmaker, I'm going to book them.
It's your props is what he was going to say. It's just Mutt's props.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
I was
I'm
trying to
booked
think of a witty comeback, but
Yeah.
again, he was 1-2. I was 3-0. So
Here we
let's
go. 73%
check
documented.
the recent records. Anything else the people, Bomber, want to be out here this weekend and be firing away? Reservations available for the
Absolutely.
NFL.
We are filling up. Busy weekend. Little Wayne in the house. Tattoo convention in the house. We got a lot
What?
going on this weekend. So do you want to be here for that? But Little Wayne's going to fill the place up on Saturday night. And we got the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Oh, big UConn event on
Yeah,
Sunday.
UConn event on Sunday. So big weekend for us. And remember, like I always like to say, good teams win, great teams cover.
Apologize for the technical difficulties. They've turned the lights off here, which means we have to go.
Wow.
Sportsbook Live. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming here to the Sportsbook. Great crew showing up here. Justin and all the company. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Who's in for Mohegan? Obviously, everyone. We're off to the races. A moment of calm before the dark and stormy. High score, dance floor. Apps, crafts, and nightcaps? Then it's down for the thread count to start it all again tomorrow. This is how it feels when you're all in for Mohegan. Mohegan Sun.
This football season, take in every epic moment on the largest HD video wall in the Northeast at the Mohegan Sun FanDuel Sportsbook.